Matt Gannon, Jers, we are back. Music's fading out. On the every other week sequence, we're getting a little bit into a cadence now. We're
Yeah.
getting a little bit closer to something consistent.
Golf season.
Officially.
Would you say the official start of golf season is Pebble?
I had to, after I saw this 2 years in a row, I had no choice but to declare at the beginning of golf season. When we had the site, the subscribers would always spike right around Pebble. That was like the moment where the most people would sign up, which led me to believe that, yes, Pebble is the start of golf season.
Well, I mean, it's perfect timing because what a week you came off, Super Bowl champion, worst Super Bowl of all time, maybe. I probably watched three snaps. Yeah, give me your thoughts and recap of that night.
So I will say, and I've told you this before, of all the Seattle sports,
congratulations. I'm happy for you.
Thank you. And for the people who are listening on the pod, I had to put on the Seahawks throwback zip up for
vintage stuff.
But I will say, of all the Seattle sports, the Seahawks were never at the top for me. It was always UW sports or the Mariners, but more the Mariners just because they've been terrible for so long. Versus the Seahawks did have some success in my life. But after they lost the Super Bowl when they threw the interception on the 1 yard line, every season after that for like a long time, everyone in Seattle every season was like, we're winning the Super Bowl, like guaranteed, like we're going to win. And I was always like, we're not, like we're so far from being the like favorites to win. And it's slowly been dying off over the last couple of years, like that hype. And obviously the new coach came last season and they did like, okay. But obviously they were like 50-80-1 to win the Super Bowl going into the season. Like no one really expected it.
Were they actually? Wow.
Yeah. So as the season was going on and they kept winning.
Pretty good odds in a 32-man field. I like that.
That's why it was like shocking stuff. It was like Justin Rose winning at Torrey level outsider situation.
That's like Justin Rose winning at like Eastlake, like in mediocre form.
It really is. Because so then the season's going on and like they keep winning every game. And I was just like, this isn't like, I was skeptical. I was like, is this legit or not? And then as they just kept winning and they beat the Rams and both games against the Rams were insane, I was like, damn, we're basically the favorite to win the Super Bowl now. Like we actually should win. And then I told you this, I think on the last pod, like going into the Super Bowl, I was very confident. I was like, everything I've seen with my eyes tells me that this team's defense is unreal and the Patriots haven't really played anybody. And so it was an incredibly boring game. But nothing is better than watching your team win a championship in the most boring way. It was just like, that was who they were the whole season. And so I loved it. But then I've talked to so many people like it was the most boring game ever. And I would have thought it was the most boring game ever by a million miles if it wasn't so beautiful for me in that moment.
Yeah. I mean, like I said earlier, I didn't watch much of it. I was watching Night of the Seven Kingdoms, shout out Game of Thrones. But I'm happy for Sam Darnold. Yeah, it's really good. Shout out Sam Darnold. Like he is a Melbourne quarterback. He always pulls up to the game day wearing the Melbourne hat. I'm not sure if you've seen that. And also an ex-Carolina Panther. So, and also an ex-USC Trojan. Shout out Los Angeles, where I am right now. So full circle moment for the Seahawks and Sam Darnold.
And I saw Sam Darnold play for USC against Washington when Washington was undefeated. And Washington ended up going to the college football playoff and lost to Alabama in the first round. But Sam Darnold tore Washington apart, and I was there, and I was like, damn, this guy's good. And I was always confused why he and then he went to the Jets. So yeah, it was great to see Darnold win. And it was all in all, it was one of the truly just best teams that I've ever watched of a team that I'm like rooting for. Nobody was necessarily, besides JSN's unbelievable receiver, but like everybody was just
all green Xander.
All green. It really was. It really was. This team would have dominated at Troon. Like it would have been clinical at Troon.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. Like get the NFL. The NFL's playing in Europe like every year now. You never know what they can do going forward.
But yeah, that was a good night. It was a great sequence too, because
did you do anything special for it or you just watched it with like at the house?
Just posted up.
You needed that you're in the environment.
Yeah. It was my fiance. My dog was on the couch. I was like group chats going the whole time.
National vibes.
Locked in. Because I'm not like, I I watched like none of the hype for the 2 weeks that go on between the Super Bowl. I'm just kind of like versus I would still not these trades can be made, and it's why the last 9 months have been like the greatest stretch of Seattle sports by a million miles. The this doesn't fill the giant gap in my heart that what happened to the Mariners in Game 7 of the ALCS. Like I would still trade those moments so much, but
Man,
you're never going to be anything but happy when a team in your city wins a championship.
you know what's crazy? How like on a scale of like boring to goodness, how much better that baseball game was than a football game. That's usually not the case. That baseball game was genuinely incredible. Like that was such a long game, and the whole series was so good. Like, you had so many like great sweats this last few months, just from a fan, which I envy so much. I haven't felt anything like that in so long outside of that one Panthers game versus the Rams a few weeks back. So that's good stuff. I need to get there in my life.
But you had a sweat at least this weekend
Yeah,
with Minwoo Lee. So like you get your
yeah,
sweat for
yeah.
golf, but you do need to experience
I want a fandom sweat. Like I used to be a diehard Mets fan. When I mean I care less. I used to be a diehard Panthers fan. They're pulling me back in. So Carolina Panthers, obviously, and hopefully, I mean I can't claim the Florida Panthers that hard. So I really want to feel something, and the Carolina Panthers kind of made me feel something. In that they got to the playoffs and they should have probably beat the Rams in that game. So I was sweating there, and I want to feel that again. So I'm happy that you got to feel
and
that
at
with the
least you're
Seahawks.
gonna go into next season with some hope, I would assume, for the
Hope,
Panthers. I assume that this is the
yeah,
start of hopefully an uptrend for the Panthers.
yeah. I mean, can't be upset. They got there and Bryce looked okay.
But yeah, this has been because Washington making the national championship a couple years ago, and then the
Yeah,
Mariners,
what a
and
run.
now the Seahawks, and now we'll see what happens with the Mariners. They could be terrible because that's just what's happened so many times. But they go in, they're like third in the odds to win the World Series going into the season, just behind the Dodgers and the Yankees. So we shall see. But I'm enjoying because my whole life, all Seattle sports were largely not good. It can end in a moment. You know, this could be the start of
Yeah.
25 years of nothing good happening. So you have to really live it up in the moment versus like
Well,
Boston people, they have so many
it's
things to fall
not
back on.
fair. It is not fair. If we're talking like 25-year increments, I feel like I'm due. I've never experienced a championship in my life as a fan. So if that's I am 25, so if that's the case, hopefully I'm due for one, whether it's the Mets or the Carolina Panthers. I not sure who it would be, but we'll see.
Time will tell. Time will tell. But you tell us about boots so far. You've been hard boot west. You're facing
Yeah.
difficult conditions. We talked 2 pods ago about we were sending prayers up for you heading out to the west because you're a Florida guy. You're Bermuda
Yeah.
season. You're Chris Kirk. You're shopping at Publix. You
Yeah.
get out west, a lot more Safeways, Albertsons, those types of
Yeah.
things. How's the trip been? You got there before Pebble. We talked last time during waist
Before
boots, but you went back to
okay.
Florida before that. How's it been?
Yeah,
What have you
yeah.
been up to?
So yeah, I guess we talked about waste already, so I'll talk about Pebble and this week so far. Yeah, we looked at the forecast and I remember you texted me, dress warm, you're gonna be miserable out there. Pebble was not necessarily the coldest place in the world. It was just so windy. Like when I was out there, it was so windy. It led me to believe some things that didn't really turn out to be true come the tournament because I should have known that the tour would have moved the tee times and not made them play through that. But also sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're just stupid and they make them play through some adverse
Only
conditions.
only in the Bahamas or
I
in if Adam Schenk is mixing. If that's
or
the
P Reed.
conditions,
Remember or Lucas Herbert? That was windy. Who
if
could
they're in
forget?
Bermuda in November and it's blowing 80 and there's like a hurricane warning for category 4,
They're playing.
they're playing.
Yeah, so the Pebble weather didn't really bother me all too much. Uh, Today in LA, it was I cataclysmic, one might say. It was the hardest raindrops I've ever felt, I think, and
Was it
I don't even
lashing?
know.
Would you describe it as
It was
lashing?
lashing. Yeah, it was lashing hard.
What would it
I don't.
If you were in Northern Ireland, would you have considered it heavy rain, or would you have expected it? Or was this ports level potential? Because we didn't get those conditions ourselves,
Yeah,
except for a few moments. But how's this compare to when we go across the P and we see conditions?
there was surely conditions that wasn't maybe as cold and windy, but it was just pure rain. Like it was just pure western rain. And I don't know why I thought to even go today because you know me, like I or you too. Like if we're gonna boots, we're gonna boots. Like we're gonna be out there in any
They,
conditions
they,
possible.
they call it boots. Rain isn't something that can stop a boots
No,
experience. And some would argue that it should be better.
right. So I mean I went to there. I went to the course today, and this I'm not staying close to the course at all. Like, I'm staying fairly far. If you're wondering why, go look at the Pacific Palisades hotel prices and then get back to me.
But also,
So
that's that's the reality of LA. LA is a very sprawling place. So I don't think, anybody would be
yeah,
surprised that you're not staying right next to Riviera and like one of the most bougie places of LA. You're gonna have to
right.
drive. That's the reality of an LA trip.
Yeah, so I'm out here and I was like, my normal routine, woke up early, hit the local LA Fitness. I mean, I'm in LA, I have to go to LA Fitness,
Different.
obviously. Well, no, it wasn't
There
different.
was
It
no
was
Strokes
just it
Gain
was
home game at the LA Fitness in
well,
LA.
it was a signature club, and they said that your pass doesn't work here, but they let me go in today. So I was like, all right, thank you. So I go there, then go to the course, and I'm like, why? It's poor. Like the weather is horrible when I'm driving. Also, battery dies in my car. I didn't tell you this. Battery dies in my car. I need to wait so long for the people to come fix it. Cost me $400 to get this fixed, so I didn't get like a big penalty. Whatever. It's just like I don't. I can't let it. I can't. It's got to roll with the punches. So I wait for that to happen, and then I get to the course. Still, the rain has not stopped at 1%. The guy drops me off at the wrong spot. I told him media center. Drops me off at the wrong spot. So I have to. I'm sprinting outside in the rain, going through all the guys who are hired through security. Where's the media center? They have no idea where it is. They're just there to like just sit there and like check people in. No, so I just run up through the clubhouse. I end up going to the Pro Am Monday dining, which is for all the college kids. Like all they have the Monday event.
I
Which
saw Washington did they play? Did the event happen? Was Connor
they
Graham
might
there?
have played no real names that we knew were there. They might be playing like right now or super early. But so I walk in there and I'm like drenched, literally drenched. Ended up I get my credential, and then I talked to the guy. Like he knew what my like role was. Why he was like, yeah, you're only here till tomorrow, right? I told him, yeah, like it's gonna be a short trip because my work is done on the course, and he's like, well, no one's gonna be on the course today, so you can hang out here if you want. So I just got something to eat and headed back. So there was no Monday boots at Riviera, just a cold, wet mat. Thankfully, this Airbnb has a nice washer and dryer for me to use, and I'm feeling much warmer and drier now. But that was the Monday LA experience. Zero boots done. Tuesday though.
How was Pebble? That's the first thing I want to like. There's a lot of things to discuss.
Oh yeah,
here.
Yeah. We have
like this. There are a lot of topics.
This is a pod.
And shout out to the listeners if you've come at this point, because there's really no more theme of the pod. It's just we're going to talk about golf every once in a while.
In any facet of golf. It could be professional golf. It could be our golf. It could be anything.
Yeah. And there's on multiple threads, there's a variety of things that have happened because I think the 2-week window has also allowed for more.
Yeah, I like it.
More action to be dialed up in the meantime. But where we rank the boots courses, there's been a few that I've been to before we boots together. We always talk about this, and there's a lot now because you've just become a boots machine that you're seeing. Where does Pebble fall in? Because the rankings of boots courses so far, just purely on like good golf course, serious test of professional golfers and vibes, like everything, however you determine what your boots ranking is. Where does this slot in?
Special place, historic place. Have you been to Pebble or no?
I've driven the like 17-mile drive a couple of times. I've been to Monterey and in like the Pebble vicinity a few times, but I've only driven through the course and gone to the clubhouse, and I stood out behind the 18th green and like looked out kind of where
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 they sit.
When Sam
the
Burns
announcer
headed
said,
out of the bunker and banked it off the grandstands and then chipped in on Saturday. That
right.
was basically where
Okay.
I stood. So that's as much
Okay.
as I've seen it, but I have not like seen the holes, close up for the most part, except you kind of drive through a
Yeah.
few of them if you're going to the clubhouse.
Yeah. So that, I mean, that the walk up 6, down 7, and like on the coast of 8 is it's breathtaking. Like the 6 and 7 corner is truly one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life, and it really takes your breath away in a pinch yourself moment.
Which takes your breath away more? Because I think the other one that comes to mind from a boots trip that we did together that hits like that is the Cliffs of Nations at
Cliffs
Royal
of
Port
Nations.
Rush,
Yep.
which is more breathtaking.
I would say Pebble because you can get closer to the cliff.
Okay.
That you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
At
Yep.
ports, you couldn't get so close. Like Pebble, you can literally. I could have jumped off. Like
Right.
no one
The
could have
Jordan
stopped
Spieth
me.
spot on like number 8. Like it's over if you
Yeah.
go over the edge there.
If and it was windy. Like I could have been got blown off. I posted that video of my hair shaking and everything just like being all like full story. Max McGreevy hit 5-iron full swing on 7T when it was blowing. That's how hard it was blowing. Um, but yeah, so I would say ranking. I don't want to. I should probably go and give it a full thought ranks, but I would say easily top 3 boots courses I've ever seen. In terms of serious golf course, I don't want to say it's an unserious golf course at all. They could make it. It's February. If in June it's going to play a lot different. Firmer conditions, thicker rough, but condition obviously wind. Like we didn't see guys score too crazy yesterday, but the score was out there if you hit your spots and add in the golf course at the right time. I think it's a real serious test and no slack. And I'm not scared to call a historical golf course.
No.
Yeah, so I would think it held up to the expectations.
I think I said I'd rank Royal Portrush outside the top 100 golf courses in the world. So like we're not afraid to give takes. So I respect your opinion there, and I'm glad to hear it because, as we've said many times, I trust like the course vibe. If you're not there, it's impossible to truly know the course vibe.
Right.
Each year that Pebble goes by, and it sounds like Pebble may be moving to the playoff potentially on the tour going
Yeah, so
forward.
someone told me yesterday.
I'm skeptical of more US Opens at Pebble. Like I get that the vibes and the views and the history, but you're okay with it being a US Open course going forward.
Yeah, I mean, what's the yearly rotation? Once every 15 years? Like, no, maybe, well, less,
I think it's
less.
like once every 10 years. It's on the same
Yeah,
rotation as Pine and Oakmont, and that's a little
it's
tough for me.
yeah. No, I agree with that statement, but I know they can make it work. I really do know that they can make it work. In the summer, the weather does have to cooperate, and this could definitely be in our bracket of make it a 1 month U.S. Open. They play on the 4 windiest days of the month. So because Tommy said, and I asked him after his round on Thursday, he only played the pro am. I mean, he only practiced Wednesday. Remember how I texted you? I said Tommy and Keegan are the only one practicing in the horrible conditions.
Obviously.
Tommy said that he only played on Wednesday because he thought the am was still on because they're having an amateur event on Wednesday before the pro am started on Thursday, Friday. And he said the only reason he thought he played was because he thought the event was still on. He didn't know it was canceled because the weather was that bad. And he said he don't think anyone would break par in those conditions on Wednesday. And I totally agree with him. It was brutally tough out there.
I agree. I think it falls into the bucket with St. Andrews and most of the open courses. This was our issue with Royal Port Rush. It wasn't that Royal Port Rush couldn't be sick or that a lot of the open courses couldn't be sick and be in under, because ultimately to be a major, as we've talked about many times, it's got to be single digit scoring or harder.
100%.
And so I think the only way to get single digit scoring at Pebble or a lot of the open courses is our plan to set a month aside for the tournament, maybe 3 months, maybe the whole year.
Yeah.
And the players are on notice at all times.
True major champion.
Yeah. What's a better test of your mentality than being ready for, because the guys are always like, oh, I'm trying to peak for the major. Well, what if the major just
Yeah.
pops up when you're not expecting it? You need to be ready. So you got to stay ready to be ready in a moment like that. Because if the U.S. Open just pops up and the Open just pops up, but you know you're going to get 4 days of absolutely nasty conditions. Like, I know you were on Minwoo, so you had to be on. Maybe you'll be against him in this moment. When his ball was rolling around the green on 18 and he couldn't putt, we need that at Pebble
Yeah.
to really have the U.S. Open that we would all be looking for.
Yeah. I didn't really. That was Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was playing golf that day, so I didn't see what happened, but I heard afterwards, and the same thing happened with Rio and Shea, I believe.
It was tough.
Was Minwoo's worse?
Minwoo got to the point where actually, so I was out and about. I got home and I turned the golf on. When I turned it on, he was teeing off on 18. I then went and did a bunch of different things. It was on for like an hour. I don't know the exact time he was on the hole because he hit it OB off the tee.
Yeah,
Or
that's what I
almost
thought.
OB
That's what I
or like
saw on
into the hazard. Yeah,
tracker.
and had to take an unplayable lie, and then he had to drop on the path, and then he had to determine what to do. And then he got to the green. His ball was moving a lot. There's no doubt about it. But he was standing over it for so long and stepping off, and he probably did it for like 20 minutes. The last time he did it, I involuntarily yelled out loud. I like my fiance looked at me and went, "Is everything okay?" And I went like, "I can't watch this anymore. He needs to putt." It was legitimately insane. It really was. It was incredible to watch.
So he made bogey. Is it because he missed a short putt?
Well, he two putted. He had like a 25 footer for par because he had to take a drop. He actually hit a sick long iron off the cart path that got like head high and just launched up towards the green. If we did the Open in the U.S. Open only in windy conditions and only when the time comes, Minwoo, we've already got him down for multiple Opens, but he might get double digits, just U.S. Opens and Opens if they're played in those conditions. But then he got to the green, had the 25 feet, and that was the one that he took forever over was the 25 footer. And then he blasted it by once he finally putted, but he made that one coming back, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't really sure how that happened. I just saw he got to 17 under, then finished bogey. And that really kind of hurt, but he battled his way back. I have no beef with Minwoo's performance last week. It was like, I think he was like 80-1. So it was a good call. Good call there.
I want to recap the golf because there's been some couple of tournaments that I want to chat through in a second, but also on the Boots journey, because I care as much about the Boots journey as the tournaments at this point. What you've been playing a healthy amount of golf out west now. How have you adjusted to the conditions in your own personal game?
So the conditions haven't been anything crazy for me. I putt far worse on the POA than I did on the bent because I believe LACC is bent greens.
That's a casual drop of some serious golf. But yes, I think that they're not POA greens at LACC.
No.
On the odd chance that golf was ever played there. No, I don't believe they're
POA. So just casual drop there. And I know I could talk about it, but I can't do much else about the LACC situation. So I put nice there. And those
only one question. Do you still consider yourself a man of the people bootser when you're playing courses like that? Or where's the do you have a statement?
I do have a statement because also before I happened to play it, I hit up Stu for some tips. So Stu was like, "How long are you gonna be out here?" And I told him that I'm leaving, so we're not gonna. And then he goes, "I'm just driving to the desert right now." I was like, "That's so casual, so casual." So, I did putt okay, but I don't think it mattered what surface those were. It was just so pure, and like you hit your line, it's gonna go no matter what. Other courses, I didn't really putt too well just because it's just like different for me. The speeds were different, but I did play some pretty cool courses out here. I have to shout out Rustic Canyon. I tweeted out what course should I play and drive from Monterey to LA. Everyone said Rustic Canyon, and I was like, all right, like let me just check this out. It was like $55, top 10 public course in the state, I believe, and lived up to the hype. It was similar to LACC and similar to the kind of golf that like I play well in open driving conditions, super open driving conditions, and then around the green, really tough tight, slopey, big greens, like the modern new courses. That's how they're being built, and I liked it a lot. Didn't really play well. I'm driving it like a 17 handicap right now, but nonetheless, I'm never going to complain about the golf. It's been okay.
And I assume big shout out to the listeners for making that.
Massive, massive shout out to the listeners for making that happen. And you know who you are. We talked a lot, and can't thank you enough for having me out at LACC. It was just truly an unbelievable experience.
The most important question here is because next week I'm coming down for the COG,
Home game.
a home game COG Classic. We're gonna play golf. We've talked about it on last
Got
pod.
some news for you on that too.
Okay. We haven't played golf since I came into New Jersey and went on your home turf. But I personally believe that if you committed yourself to becoming a drawsman, that I would have no chance to defeat you simply because you would have such consistency and I never play. And so I don't know how I would ever defeat you. But you've refused. You've said, I'm a modern golfer. I'm a fadesman. Call up Scottie Scheffler. Call up Collin Morikawa. Call up John Rahm. I'm hitting fades. I've been seeing on your Instagram story that you've been hitting draws, and I'm worried because if I show up down in Florida next week with the hazards, with the Bermuda, and you're planting draws in play, I would have no chance. What's the status? Are you a drawsman?
Everything but the driver. I cannot figure out the driver. I genuinely think I'm a professional 3-wood player.
You are good. And we've talked about this before. You're the best 3-wood player for your capability of golf in the world. I guarantee it. We've talked about this before.
So when I hit the 3-wood off the tee, it goes well further than my driver, well further. But sometimes, like, you have a hole that's wide. Like, why not just like try to hit your driver? And when I do hit it, like, it goes, but I just don't do it like at all. So if I just commit to 3-wood off the tee, especially like when it's in tight conditions, I think I could be in business. And also in the news, we're for looking like a Friday round at the park. You and I and longtime listener Gio might join us for some G. So
that is special.
It's gonna be planned later today or tomorrow.
All right. Shout out Gio. Shout out the listeners. That'll be great. I'm looking forward.
Yeah, if anyone else is a listener in the South Florida area, we're gonna be there. If you want to play some golf, either Thursday, Friday, Saturday, give us a shout.
My only hope is the open driving conditions, and
at the park.
We're gonna hit the range on Wednesday night. That's gonna be important for me. And starting with the par 3 course, allow me to get my irons dialed in, because if I can just play to my strength, I can pull a Hideki. I can lose strokes off the tee and make up for them elsewhere. But it's
you can at the park too. Like, you can basically drive it anywhere. It's very similar to LACC. Like, drive it anywhere, and like big greens, tough chipping, which is kind of your game.
And it reminds me too of Chambers Bay, which would be
the home game. Oh, for sure. For sure. Very similar style of golf.
So that'll be next week. I'm going to come down. We're going to boots Wednesday. I don't know, how aggressive of boots it will be. It'll be the best boots that we can do in the time.
Odd Wednesday night, maybe?
We have. I was thinking we'll maybe
game
just like
decision.
A short video clip, maybe 10 minutes. Just who knows what? Who knows? Who knows? Anything's possible. I will be making a card. We'll talk about this, but
Brooks?
Is Brooks playing home game? That'd be
sick. Yes. He is.
But my second card of the year, which it wasn't even a card, it was Scottie. But I want to talk about that because it was the most fun I've had watching golf. Maybe ever, even though he didn't win. I got my money's worth.
How many times did you laugh?
I want to talk about it in detail because I've got a lot that I want to discuss about Scottie with you. But I bring this up just because I'm committed to, if Scottie's in the tournament, I'm either betting Scottie or I'm not betting the tournament. Like, nothing last week only solidified that more into my heart, merely from how much fun it was. That that's so. Now I'm still only going to do it on weeks where I legitimately think he has like a 50-50 chance of winning, which I genuinely thought about last week, and I have no regrets over that because
zero.
He showed what he can do at Pebble. Like, there was no question about that. We'll talk about it. I don't know if I'm going to bet this week, but I'm absolutely going to make a card after bootsing COG.
Yeah.
But it'll be a 16-20x card.
Yeah.
So I think I'll tweet that out, but I want to put some stuff on Ship It too. Thoughts about the course, DFS thoughts, those types of things. put that up there. I'm going to tweet my card out because I'm only doing certain events and I'm just tossing it out there. We're going to see how it goes for the year. And then we're going to be playing some golf. It's next week is setting up to be something pretty special.
Yeah, we are gonna explore the Palm Beach area, hit Jupiter, hit the Square Grouper. If you're a Palm Beach resident, you know about the Square Grouper. Just absolute vibes, absolute vibes. I'm excited, excited for. I mean, I'm just excited to get home. I actually want to go home more than anyone. I want to go home so bad because I had that cruise. I had Boots Phoenix. I had Boots Carmel, and now we're here in LA. I just want to go home. I'm not asking for much.
That's fair. I don't think anyone is going to feel bad for you because that was a pretty elite list of places that you listed off. But everybody, home is home, so I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. We've been talking about. I haven't been down to see the West Palm setup before, so this has been a long time coming, and I need
a lot of TVs. A lot of TVs.
The weather in New York has been Antarctica. It's been truly something extraordinary, and not in a positive way, but still, I will say, strokes gained dog experiencing the coldest weather ever. Now it can only be warmer in the future winters.
It can't get colder. It can't get colder.
Hopefully.
Yeah, it's going to be a good experience for you.
There's been 2 weeks of golf that have taken place, and obviously that will be over. The write-ups will be on Ship It. I've been checking out the Boots reports the last couple of weeks. How are you feeling in general? Give me just a general how you're feeling about the Boots report. How you're thinking going into obviously this week. You got the rain conditions to overcome. We've had to overcome the weather. That's just the reality of Boots sometimes. What should the people be expecting in general on Ship It right now, and how do they get signed up?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a pretty fine first 2 week of Boots. Everything went fairly well. I really liked the way Phoenix played out based on what I saw. A little disappointed with my thoughts at Pebble. I just should have known that they weren't going to play in the toughest of conditions when, even though some of the weather forecasted, they moved the tee times up. But when it was the toughest of the conditions, I really saw that driving distance prevail on like Sunday. All the bombers really had great rounds, which I thought would be the case. Nonetheless, not going to get every single thing 100% right, but I'm always going to give my honest input. That's why we need a solo boot. I mean, we need a duo Boots again to like really dial each other back in. But yeah, this week the course is very wet, and I think that just amplifies what we're looking for at Riviera even more. Like the bombers prevail there, and the approach play separates itself, but it's set up by positional bombing plus. So you got to do it even more. Carry distance is huge, and then 150 to 200 iron play is the separator this week.
And that's over on Ship It, plus all the other great Ship It stuff. Like I've been obviously using Ship It now and checking out all the stuff on a weekly basis. Great stuff beyond just Boots. And as we talked about, that was the whole point of joining up with Ship It, was Boots plus everything else that Ship It has, which is amazing. So use code Vinceric. Shout out to everybody who used code Vinceric for the free trial period. And a ton of people signed up, and shout out the listeners and everybody who's over, checking out Ship It. We really appreciate it. And going forward, still 10% off into perpetuity with code Vinceric over at Ship It. Use it. Check out the Boots.
Great time to sign up now because we have Adam and I Boots next week. And then I don't know if you know, but the Florida swing is happening. And I don't know if you know, but I live in Florida. So I'm going to be staying on the road. I think it's going back to Phoenix. It's 7 or 8 weeks in a row of hard Boots. So great time to sign up now. Use that code Vinceric, and you're going to get what you guys love, the Boots information, plus so much more, which I haven't even yet fully explored with every single sport. I know you guys love all sports as well, not just golf, but a ton of great information, ton of great tools, more than we could have probably imagined.
I'm trying to confirm if I saw this for real. I think Chris Kirk got a sponsor's exemption into Bay Hill, which was the most Bermuda.
He did. No, he did. He did.
Okay. Yeah. Because you mentioned the Florida swing, and Chris Kirk getting a sponsor's exemption into the API was the most Florida thing I've ever seen. Like I'm obviously a Chris Kirk supporter.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm a Florida golf supporter. What a beautiful moment. He could
imagine Bay Hill without Chris Kirk. Imagine any Florida golf tournament without Chris Kirk. Does it count? That's the real asterisk.
Yeah, that's the discussion they probably had. They were looking at a list of potential people to put into Bay Hill, and somebody just said, Would it even be
I
payable?
think the sponsors were Billy and Chris Kirk. Like so Florida, so Bermuda.
It's so good. What
So good.
we talked about Team Rupp, the train had
Oh,
left the
yeah.
station last pod.
Yeah.
You claimed that we were figuring out who potentially could be the next number 1 player in the world that's not Scottie, or has not previously been number 1 player in the world, the next new number 1. I said they probably haven't been born yet. I'm going to stand by that after things that I'm seeing. But 2 wins, came flying out of the gates at Pebble, but too close to the sun. Couldn't keep the momentum going.
His ball got stuck in the tree in his first swing on Friday. I think that would have changed if that wasn't the case.
That's tough. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. First swing.
You're not. I wouldn't consider. I mean, you were on at the Scottish. You're maybe the voice of Chris Gotterup. What's the state of the union? What state of the union on Gotterup?
T4 at JDC in like his first ever start. Like I actually had him. The state of Team Rupp is absolutely booming. I chatted with him for like 15 minutes on the range at Pebble, and I was just like, I couldn't have said congratulations and this is so sick like so many times. Turns out he's the newest West Palm Beach resident as well. So, which like so full circle. And he thanked us for being supporters from day one. Which like he knows that I've had him on the pod like 2 years back, and we've been Team Rupp supporters for a while. Yeah. So the state of the union is I still have all the faith in the world. He can bomb it high if he wants to. He's been living with that low ball. Once that wedge play fully develops, I mean, it took Rory 15 years to get his wedge play fully develops. Once he gets that dialed, he has an amazing short game. He's streaky with the putter. Like he's got the tools to be him. So I still am on the train for Team Rupp.
I'm feeling good about my preseason one and done pick of Gotterup at Riv this week.
That's right. That is right, and the conditions make sense for it. I do like that.
He's been nationalized.
Who was mine? Scottie.
Yeah, no, you have Scottie, which is nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, he's been tee to green. It just becomes a matter of if Gotterup makes putts, because if you make it's like we're getting into Scottie-esque old school Scottie territory with Gotterup, where tee to green it's every time.
Yeah, and like Gotterup won, like he's had really good results like being average on approach. He's had really good results like being average putting. Like it's been impressive stuff. Like, and he's becoming, I think, more of a complete golfer as the weeks go on. Definitely excited for him this week. He stays in the featured groups as well.
He is?
What? Yeah, he's featured group this week.
With who?
I'm not sure exactly, but Rose and one more person.
I got it.
But he's people want to see Gotterup, and I mean, I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all.
I think honestly one of the OG ball knower moments I ever saw from you was when we were at Travelers with BK and Devo. Was Devo there? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's the first time we met, Loki. That's the first time we met.
And we were we went on Saturday and Sunday of Travelers.
I have no idea where this is going. I have no idea where this is going.
You'll like where it goes. And on Sunday, we woke up and we were going to go play putt-putt. And we were all talking about like the players we were going to watch. Like, I think I had somebody like not really in the mix. And like, we were trying to figure out who to watch. And you were like, I'm watching Gotterup. And you were like so serious about it. And we were like, oh yeah, like if we see Gotterup, like that'll be cool. And you're like, no, like I'll catch up with you guys later. I'm going to watch Gotterup. Gotterup was like T56. He was like one of the first groups off.
I do remember that.
And we get there and you're on an absolute mission to watch Gotterup. And like he had played, that was before. When was that? Was that before or after JDC?
That was it was the week before, I think, because then then I remember the car ride back. Devo was like posting the JDC as a lock.
Yeah.
It's a lock. No, did he win?
That was an elite call because that was at Travelers. in
Yeah.
June of 2022, and he finished T35 that week at Travelers. But you going into, I don't know what he was going into the final round, but you were like, I have to see him. And then the very next week is when he was 600 to 1. I think we both bet him at 600 to 1.
We all bet him, yeah.
I was looking for my tweet, but like X doesn't go back far enough, but I know I tweeted something about him at 600 to 1. And then he finished T4 at the JDC. But
who could forget?
You called him Mini Brooks. You're like, this guy's going to be the next Brooks. And it's not out of the question that you were accurate with that call.
I mean, I've been a Gotterup truther. Like, he grew up one county above me, and I was just like, oh, this stud from CBA is going to play golf at Rutgers. Like, sure. Like, let's see what he's can become. And he's got better and better and better. Obviously, went to Oklahoma, and like now look at what he's become. President's Cup lock for this year.
One of the best Rutgers athletes ever.
He has to be the best Rutgers athlete.
Any other Rutgers? There's the point guard that was a freshman last year. I think Harper. He's on the
Dylan Harper.
He's
we
good.
Have
but
Ray Rice. Ray Rice. We have who else do we have? I'm gonna think. I'm gonna actually Google this while you.
I mean, and Ray Rice isn't one that you want to be like hanging your hat on too much. That's way better than Ray Rice. So, like, I've been paying more attention to Rutgers because of you and just from being in the Northeast. Like growing up, I never thought anything about Rutgers, so I'm not the best example. But I can't think of many athletes from Rutgers. Maybe back in the day. Do they have a Hall of Fame?
Oh, Alexi Lawless, great goalie.
World Cup USA too, which he'll be on. He's known. That's for sure.
Yeah, Todd Frazier, Carly Lord, soccer.
I'm gonna ask ChatGPT.
Oh, Mohamed Sanu, Kenny Britt.
Mohamed Sanu is a good one. I think he played. Yeah, I think he might have played for the Seahawks for a little bit.
Mohamed Sanu was one of the greatest QBRs of all time. Like he would, whenever he would be on the team, he'd throw him like that like reverse pass, and he would just have a dime every time.
Every time he was on the field, the announcers would like, "Watch out for the fake pass," and you would know it was coming, and it would still work.
It would still work every time.
ChatGPT
the list stops at 1.
ChatGPT's broken. It won't tell me. It doesn't want me to know who the most best Rutgers athletes ever are. But I think Gotterup's got to be near the top, and
yeah.
If there's room for him to hit the bullet fade, I tweeted this out, and I think it's true, that like he for the longest time was always losing strokes on approach. But it wasn't that he was bad with his irons. He was just driving it off the planet too often.
Yeah.
And when you're off the planet and you don't have you're either in the rough or you don't have the right angles, it's tough to gain strokes on approach. Like there's a correlation.
He is the most important stat involved. Yes.
But now he's been driving it more accurately, just accurately enough, like not crazy accurately, but just like average.
Yeah.
And now he's striping on approach every week, and he's good around the greens.
So good around the greens. I think to the up and down he had behind, I don't know what green it was, like 15, 16, when we were in the pub in Northern Ireland, and he was over the green, and then he chipped it up. Like I thought he was so dead to beat Rory in Northern Ireland, and I was freaking out that day. We were all freaking out that day. That was a great and bad day for us because we had that sweat. We played golf at Port Stewart. I had no phone connection, and William Mao came with Tringali round of the year happened when you had like the entire top 3, and then William Mao
leaderboard, and then Willie Mao shot the round of the year. I'm excited. I mean, I like your pick of Gotterup at the U.S. Open. But him at Pine, because I'm imagining him, you know where Bryson was getting it up and down from?
Pat.
What's it?
Pat number 8.
I want to talk about now. What is the State of the Union with Pat? I just saw his tweet about another strong performance climbing up, like
so good.
Strong. 4 pictures of him like next to the beach. I love those tweets so much. But we just saw it leads. It's also kind of State of the Union with Collin, which obviously just took a wild turn. But Pat now with Collin winning again, does Pat become the least serious golfer?
Yeah, I mean he probably has to be, right? Yeah, probably has to be, and he's going to be like chart number 1 this week, chart number 2 this week. He's got to be because he got the course history at UCLA. I remember this actually. remember when I was Pat every week, no matter what, like his Pat. I remember this was a week that I didn't bet him for whatever reasons. Like when he had a 36 hole lead, like by 20 shots, and he was like plus 170. Absolutely hammered it. Because like I can't miss it. I just can't not be on Pat. And then obviously he did not win. So I'm not betting Pat this week, but he's gonna be popular. Like he makes so much sense. He had a fine performance, like backdoor T14, never in contention. When was the last time Pat was in contention? Like you can't just say it off the top of your head. Like no one knows that. No one knows that. Like tour championship, maybe? Probably tour championship.
Yeah, I mean that was definitely it. But
Yeah.
Truist, he was played okay.
No, that had to have been a backdoor. I don't remember him at Truist at all.
What
It,
couple questions for you on this topic. Had you seen anything from Collin? Because Collin somehow figured out how not to hit the wipey fade. And this week he was not hitting the wipey fade. He was striping beyond belief. That was unexpected for me, at least. Had you seen any signs of Collin figuring out how to not hit the wipey fade anymore? Because he did it in the wind and the conditions.
yeah.
He just figured out how not to hit the wipey fade. Like if you had told me Collin was going to win in blustery conditions and have the greatest approach rounds in the history of golf at Pebble, 4 or 5 years ago, you would have said yes. Like I could see that for Collin, but we've only been seeing the wipey fade for so long. Did you see any signs, or did he just figure out how to not hit the wipey fade come tournament
Yeah,
time?
well, on in Phoenix, I did not see any great signs from him at all. And then Pebble, I didn't see him. Pebble actually was really hard to boots because one, the weather was really bad. Like by on Tuesday noon, Tuesday 12:30, everyone was off the course. No one was playing because then it started to rain. And then combine bad weather, 80-man field, two courses. It was really tough to see the golfers.
Did you go to
So,
Spyglass, or did you just go to
oh,
Pebble?
I went to Spyglass.
Okay,
And
well, that should come into the rankings too, because Spyglass looks sick.
oh my, special. Apps, so much elevation change. And on what day was it? I think Wednesday. It was maybe me, Rio, Decky, Smalley's mom were the only people on Spyglass. No volunteers were there. It was we were the only people there, and it was an amazing experience. Just walking the fairways just by myself, watching some guys flush, and just the sounds because you get the views of the water as well. It was just Spyglass is special. I'm gonna come home, and you know how I do this. I get a logo ball from every course I play or go to. Gonna come home with a special collection of logo balls. Riviera, LACC, Pebble, Spyglass. I think that's it. Special collection. I'm gonna make Kohler rearrange all the balls because we're running out of space.
While you were talking, I went to see where Smalley finished because there was a second he was getting into the mix, and I was going to say shout out Smalley, but vintage Smalley T19. His name popped up there in the final round near leaderboard, but top 20 for Smalley. I don't totally know how he was in the field, but shout out Smalley.
Yeah, Shank was in the field too. There was a few guys that Shank won the windy conditions. I've had to put him in. I knew it was going to be windy.
Yeah.
There was a few guys in the field who I was like, how did they get in this field? I had no idea how they were in the field. And I'm not gonna talk about it right now, but did you read the Boots report on Shank? I mean, I could talk about it. Did you read what I said about Shank?
No.
Okay, basically, that me and Shank are boys. So
everybody knows that.
Everybody knows
gas
that.
Station at
Pinehurst, the gas station at Pinehurst. So I was talking to Shank on 18T, Pebble, one of the last guys to play on one of the days, and basically he was hitting a bunch of drivers and he was letting his caddy hit drivers and videoing him because like it was just an iconic shot. And he goes to his caddy, he goes, damn, like you're hitting it way further than me. Like you gotta stop doing this. And caddy's like, well, I can turn and you can't. Shank was like, damn, you're right. And then Shank comes up to me and goes, so when am I gonna see you like next? I was like, I'll be there next week. He goes, oh, cool. Like, I'm definitely not going to be there next week, but I'll try to see you in Florida. I'm like, no, it was like zero confidence that he could qualify for this event at all. And then everyone, shout out the Ship It Discord. Everyone played post T minus 170 for Shank for like round 1 and 2. So just a funny Shank story.
He's so inconsistent, but when it's there, it's special. Which is fine. Like He's already got a T11 in the books this year at Torrey. Shout out Shank.
We don't want to see him at Valspar because you never know if he's got it slotted at Valspar.
Also,
Look
shout out
out.
Shank, because I think I saw a tweet of him where he showed his son scroll, or like it was a tweet of scrolling up the leaderboard looking for himself on the leaderboard. So he was in good spirits. It sounds like the whole time. He knew that it maybe
I think
Pebble
he's
wasn't
still
gonna be.
injured.
Yeah, but a winner.
Winner.
Putted one-handed. Did what he had to do.
What a world.
600 to 1. Did you tell him that we were mixing when he won? Did you say, why'd you have to do that to the guys at 600 to 1?
Who'd you have again?
Frankie Caps. Generational.
Yeah, I had Braden Thornberry. What a week.
I just saw a tweet about Braden Thornberry because it was a tweet. It may have
Scottie.
been. Yeah. Was it
Friendly.
Yeah, it was Friendly, obviously. I saw his name. It was Thornberry. Kevin Yu was there. The level of striping taking place at that U.S. Amateur at Riv must have been special. But so you didn't see signs from Collin. This just happened.
No,
he just
didn't see him at Pebble,
California. Strokes gained California. Strokes gained. Still remembers how to win.
Yeah,
apparently
we thought strokes gained quote on Monday or Tuesday. I'm here to win. That's what he said. I'm not here for top 20s, top 10s. I'm here to win, which Collin's always kind of said, but whatever. I'm not mad. I missed Collin. I would have never bet Collin last week in the win ever.
That's the question. Is this a start of something new for Collin? Is this a resurgence, or was this a flash in the pan strokes in California?
If he can hit a 5 to 10 yard fade every time like he used to do, why not? Like, yeah. If he can do that, then he could do that. He tried to hit that one draw on 17, and that I don't know how that didn't go out of bounds. I was obviously at Minwoo. I was like, are we serious right now? I thought he was gonna get it up and down too, but how does that not go OB? It's so lucky.
Where I will give him credit, and this could lead into talking about Scottie, because the final round, I know you didn't see it. And it's fair why you didn't.
No, I was playing. I watched the final like 9 holes, 8 or 9 holes yesterday because I played early.
You missed the first 9 holes.
Yeah. Okay.
Some truly special golf.
Yeah.
From Scottie, but Collin, Scottie unbelievably became the favorite in the odds after like the 10th hole. Scottie was the favorite. He was back down to like 3 to 1 and was the favorite. Collin had fallen back. He was like 12 to 1 because Collin also came charging up on Saturday. We've said a million times that Collin had never beaten Scottie ever since Scottie became Scottie. Because the last time Collin had won was the Zozo and Scottie wasn't there. And then the time before that was the Open, and that doesn't count because Scottie wasn't Scottie yet. So as this version of Scottie, we had said he had never beaten him. He had to look at the leaderboard and see a freight.
He said that in his presser. Yeah.
Unlike he'd ever seen before, nuking to the top of the leaderboard, playing generational golf. And on the back 9, because going into the back 9, it was anybody's ball game. Scottie, Burns, Collin,
Tommy
a little bit. Even Minwoo wasn't really into it. Minwoo came charging home down the very end. But going into the back 9, I would say it was either Scottie, Collin, or Burns was kind of the general feel because Akshay Bridgman was hitting it off the planet. No, if Bridgman had won, and shout out Bridgman for mixing as hard as he did, if he had won,
I like Bridgman.
He was hitting it. They would have never been able to host a tournament at Pebble of any meaningfulness ever. Like that, they would have had to cancel the U.S. Opens at Pebble going forward if Bridgman had won hitting it the way that he did. Luckily, he didn't, but it was unbelievable stuff. But
also, they were all Burns off the planet too. Burns hit some insane drives that got so lucky.
I was most rooting, not rooting against Burns, but I texted you. We could pull it up because I decided single bowled Scottie. I felt like Scottie. But then I texted you, the only disrespectful number is Sam Burns 75 to 1. That was all that I said.
Yeah.
Because you were talking driver putter, which I think ended up being Collin striped it generationally, but Min was a driver putter guy. Sam was playing driver putter golf and then forgot how to putt when he most needed to know how to putt. But he had been struggling with the flat stick, like surprisingly struggling
last 2 weeks,
and then he struggled down the stretch. But all this to say, Collin didn't luck box his way into defeating Scottie.
No,
he needed Scottie to give him a huge head start. I don't think we can discount that from the conversation going forward, but he had to beat Scottie when Scottie was in that moment a favorite over him. That to me has to be the most impactful thing of this victory for any chances of Collin really rising back up to the level that he was, 3-4 years ago.
I agree. I agree. Because and it, like I said, he said in his presser, I was well aware of where Scotty was on the leaderboard, and I knew I had to kick it into gear and keep making pars and birdies in these tough conditions. That birdie on 16 was the one that really did it. That long putt after he had horrible chip on 15, horrible shot in going into 16, and then he obviously finished up how he did. So yeah, Colin got there. It was tough. Obviously, runner up.
But you can't. Did you feel like it was a tough beat? Because
no,
yeah,
no. I just know that if I had Collin tied for the lead on 18, he would never make that birdie. Or you, like no one. Like if we had someone who the only time it's ever worked is Xander at Holla needs to birdie the last par 5, gettable par 5. Every other time, 100% going to a playoff and then auto loss.
Probably. I have a hard time arguing it, but I outside of, so we talked about it 2 pods ago. I've also wanted to spend this year trying to enjoy Scottie's greatness.
Yeah, as you should.
And because he's in the featured group this week, I had my computer. I got to watch Scottie basically play all 72 holes, which I don't think I've ever done before. Outside of maybe
how did Thursday go for you? Like, what was that like?
Well, so I had never, maybe at like a major or casually watching, but I'd never been like truly rooting for Scottie to play good while watching him for 72 holes. And I'm glad I did because it was, set the betting aside, it was fun to be rooting for him while he was charging. But like, even if I didn't have bets on anybody, I would have been, my thing this year is I want to see Scottie just do the craziest stuff that he can, birdie every hole. We talked about it last pod.
Yeah.
Even when he was so far behind, he was driving the ball down the middle so far and so straight. It was getting to the point. I was texting with Hunter because Hunter is the creator of the single ball Scottie strategy. We were texting all week. It was great to sweat Scottie with Hunter. And he was like, isn't it so much better being on this side? And I was like, yeah, this is the greatest thing ever. You could see the signs the whole week that like he's playing the worst that's legitimately possible for him to be scoring. He doesn't need to drive anymore. He should get to go out and set his ball where he wants to set it because it's not even a question for him. The only thing, because I was thinking about it the whole week, I was like, I always felt that he was going to make a charge because it's Scottie.
Hitting it too well.
And so then I was thinking like, what happened on Thursday? What were the things that like stood out as different? Because I watched all the Schultz versus what like as he gradually built back into it. And then obviously what he did to start the round on Sunday was obscene. I genuinely think the thing with Scottie is if the conditions on the ground, so the physical turf, the greens and the fairways and the rough, if it's consistent, he is unstoppable. He literally cannot be defeated. Like if he knows what's going to happen when he makes contact with the ball, and the only issue is what happens when the ball's in the air, he literally cannot be defeated. Like no one can hit it as consistently, and especially under pressure. That's why he's been like, it doesn't matter. No one can match him. However, if there's any problems with the ground, which there was on Thursday because he was getting a ton of mud balls versus in the final round, they played lift clean in place. And it slowly got drier through the week. He was getting so annoyed. Every shot he hit, he would turn and show his club to Ted and be like, look, like it didn't hit perfectly. This is bullshit. Like, this isn't right. Like, I refuse to stand for this. And then when he was putting, he like a couple putts got like knocked off line. But going into the tournament, people were saying like, oh, Scottie can't putt on Poe. Scottie can putt on any of the greens now. He is the best green reader I've ever seen. Like, he never misreads a putt ever. 72 holes, he didn't misread one. He just got so annoyed when the ground doesn't do what he's supposed to. And it used to affect him for all 4 days with his putting. He would just give up. now like on Thursday, if he had reset 9 holes in and Ted was begging him, Ted was like, talk, please, just like try a little harder. Like if we could get to 3 under, this is guaranteed victory going forward. But like he just couldn't quite grasp it. I think that's the Scottie thing, because we think back to a place like Pinehurst, for example, where we're like, this isn't Scottie because the ball's going to bound forward, and we've seen him when it's like rock hard conditions. When the ground is clean and the greens are a little soft, legitimately unstoppable. But I think that was the difference on Thursday. I don't know what happened. I didn't watch as closely in the first round at Waste, but I think that's where we're at. Like it's literally
that is an unbelievably unique take. I love that, and it makes sense too. I definitely so. If they play Live Clean in Place this week, forget it.
His driving was unlike anything I've ever seen. Like I texted Hunter halfway through the tournament, and I was like, I know the stats aren't going to say this is the greatest driving performance ever, but it got to the point watching him, because it was fun, like kind of sweating Scottie, but I didn't care that much. I was just like, it'd be fun if he won. Every hole was guaranteed drive down the middle, except there was like 1 or 2 that got away from him. And he's driving the ball so good. The issue this week wasn't the putting. It was his approach play was off because of how his club was interacting with the turf. That's my genuine opinion. I genuinely think that's what happened, because he wouldn't lose strokes on approach. It's impossible. It's mathematically, he can't. And he was so frustrated on Thursday with how the ball was coming off, and his distances were all off, and everything was thrown off. But as soon as I found out it was Live Clean in Place on Sunday, I was like, maybe because he can just take aim, and on his chips, like is around the green, he can set the ball perfectly. It works out wonderfully for him. The greatest shot, we've talked about this before. The greatest shot I've ever seen was Scottie in the practice round at Oak Hill on number 6.
That's a golf hole.
The shot he hit into 18, it was already over at that point, and I'll talk in a second. I do need to take a shot at Ted. I think the reason Scottie didn't win was actually Ted Scott's fault this week, which we usually don't talk about, but I genuinely think that's what happened. His shot into 18 reminded me of the practice round shot into 6, because the wind was off of the left. His drive, first of all, was generational, and then his ball was hooking for the first half.
He drew it. Yeah.
For the first half, it's hooking. And then it perfectly turns in the air and rolls to 2 feet. It was one of the greatest shots I've ever seen. It really was. It was unbelievable.
I don't know how, Scott, I have no words. I was laughing. I was driving. I had my phone right here, watching it casually because I needed to sweat it. And he hit it, rolled to 2 feet. I was like, is this real? Did this actually just happen? So when he needed it, he had it. Just when he needed it, he had it.
And when he needed to make putts, he couldn't miss. Every putt was in the center. He still missed so many short putts during the week.
He lipped out too, right? On Sunday, he lipped out. I heard he lipped out too.
That's the crazy thing. He played so poorly, but I could legitimately think of 10 things that he, on average, would do better. I literally think it was a statistically random in the negative way for Scottie, and he still got to tied for the lead with 9 holes to go and was the favorite in the tournament. It's just unbelievable stuff. It's really special.
Is.
Yeah. He came out, and everybody's like, oh, maybe Scottie could make a charge, because everybody now knows it's possible, but nobody actually thinks he's going to go 7 under through 7.
No.
Have you ever seen anything like it?
I'm only Akshay on Saturday, but outside of that.
Yeah, and Collin on Saturday.
And Collin, no big deal. I was playing golf, obviously, and I was like, Scottie made another birdie. Oh, Scottie eagled 6 and 2. It was just laughing, just actually laughing on what he did.
It's because his approaches. That was the crazy thing on Thursday, was he wasn't scoring on the par 5s, and those par 5s should be guaranteed birdies for Scottie. And part of the reason I really like Scottie last week, even in the birdie fest conditions, is I think some people I like Scottie when there's going to be a lot of birdies, because nobody can birdie like Scottie. He's his birdie percentage right now. I was looking last week, he was at his best season, which was the best in tour history a couple seasons ago. I think was 28% birdie or better. Over the last year since he started putting better, he's birdieing 35% of the holes. So if it's a birdie tournament, it's impossible to stop him.
Imagine doing that. Imagine
It's
bringing 35% your holes.
it's obscene stuff. And then he was charging so much, and he was playing like super aggressively. And the reason I blame Ted is because both on 12 and 15, Scottie made bogeys, which he should have been able to set up a 15 to 20-foot birdie look, and he may have made them. He was making everything that he looked at. So those could have been, he could have played 12 and 15 and maybe 1 under. Instead, he played it in 2 over, and he lost by 3 shots. He pured 2 iron shots that flew the green because Ted, I
That's what he said in his interview too. He's like, I play way more aggressively than normal. I went at flags I usually don't go at, and clearly that was the 2 bogeys.
Because it is a shame. Because like, not even from the who cares from the betting perspective? It would have been sick if he had actually won.
Oh, so
it would have
sick.
been one of
that
the
would have been 8
ever.
shots back. It would have been the longest, biggest in Pebble history.
And so I was a little disappointed that because they and usually Scottie and Ted down the stretch, it's like nails in the coffin, money in the bank, like it's over. And Ted strokes gained caddy number 1. I'm not going to say a bad word about Ted. There's many more caddies that we would happily say bad words about. That was honestly what I think happened. Like if Scottie hits the green on 12 and 15, which the way he was hitting the ball, he was going to hit it where you told him to hit it. Like it was as if God himself had come down and said, like, this, just tell me where you want to hit the ball. So for him to airmail 12 and then miss the green from like 100 yards on 15 and make bogey, Scottie should legitimately not be making those mistakes when he's in that rhythm. Like he usually does.
I agree. Also, this is like a perfect segue. I actually just remembered this, and I wanted to bring it up at the pod. I have a caddy story and a caddy situation. So I did get to talk to a caddy this morning, and we were just talking about like travel, normal golf stuff, and future stuff. And Ludwig came up, and I said to this caddy, I said, I have some takes about Ludwig and Skavron. And then his response was, Skavron does way too much. Ludwig is not going to be his top potential with Joe in the bag. And I said, I couldn't agree with you more. I talked about the story at Oakmont, how Ludwig gave him
the pod's recorded.
What the hell are we doing?
Evidence is there. We're not making this up. Go back and listen to the pod.
So I just had to bring that up on the pod, and I'm glad that we're talking about the caddies because I was like, yeah, it's quite obvious watching Ludwig baffled in a practice round. No, and like I'm not saying Ludwig's perfect right now by any means. I'm just talking in general. Ludwig is a generational talent.
He's all green. He's all green Xandering. He's doing what he needs to.
With JS on the bag, we do not think Ludwig could be what.
Right. This isn't even a hot take. Look at the results. Even if Skavron was the greatest caddy ever, why wouldn't Ludwig look at what's happening right now and say what's going on here? Because I'm glad you segued it because we talked a little bit. I mean, because we're not like you haven't bootsed yet for Riv. Stuff will be up on the site. I don't think I'm betting. If I do, I'm going to be betting Scottie. I need to know if it's going to be left
honestly same.
Like I need to know because I'm seeing plus 340 out there, and I genuinely think like we'll see how this ends up at the end of the year. Scottie
doesn't even have to beat 80 dweebs. He has to beat 72 dweebs, 71 dweebs.
I like Scottie at plus 340 over the course of the year will be profitable. I will believe in that. Like I tweeted the list of people who haven't beat him at golf. Shout out Collin and Minwoo for getting off the list. Like congratulations. Congratulations to Minwoo and Collin for getting off the haven't beat Scottie list. But I mean, what's the and so like a guy like Lude, who's now we would have wanted him mixing. It's not going great, but this is another course that should be good for him.
He definitely should be.
Not at this course, but you can't take away a defending champion. We've seen what Patrick Cantlay can do at the BMW Championship. Why couldn't Led be a Genesis merchant?
The posters are out. It's maybe raining, but the posters are out of Ludwig. Yeah. So I just thought that was a really interesting story. I hope I can see Ludwig tomorrow and see like the vibes because he's one of the guys like that walks ahead of his caddy and like just walks out in front when they're walking the fairways. And I saw like the first week at Torrey on the stream while I was watching. I watched so little bit of Torrey because I was on that cruise. And one thing I noticed was it was Max Homa, Ludwig, and Brooks in the featured group. And Homa, Brooks, Skavron are in the corner on the tee box just laughing it up while Ludwig's on the other side. Like, he doesn't want to be boys. He's not boys with these guys. He's from Sweden. He doesn't care. And, like, that's not what your caddy should be doing. That's not what your caddy should be doing. So,
and I think the big thing we've talked about, my original take was that Lud's the type of player who looks like he wants to be told what to do, which is fine.
Yeah,
like some players
like Scottie.
Yeah, Scottie kind of wants to be told what to do, which is why I kind of blame Ted when Scottie goes long, because just tell Scottie had on. This is a Scottie made an unbelievable putt to save par because he was being given like the superpower
instruction.
But Ted said to him, Scottie, hit this extra hard. The rough's going to slow it down a little bit. And Scottie nuked it over the green by 15 yards. Like he was going to, and Lud is the type of guy who's everybody talks about the greatest golf swing anyone's ever seen is Lud's swing, which I don't necessarily agree with, but it is
it's consistent. A good swing. It's a good little swing he's got.
Yeah, and he's all green Xandering every week. He's above average versus the PGA Tour top players across the board. He's gaining. What? Who was this caddy before?
I don't know, but he won on the PGA Tour twice with Scottie. I'm not sure who it was before, but I'm not sure if he won at Cran. I don't think he was on the bag at Crans. Scottie was. I don't think.
Okay. Well, monitor the situation. Well, I'm glad that at least that sounds like there might be some,
some noise. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So monitor the situation there for sure. I also think, because thinking about how to bet tournaments we talked about last time, you're still willing to go up against Scottie.
Sometimes.
Would you agree or disagree with the take? If Scottie just plays ever so slightly above his average, or even just at his average, a vast majority of the players are incapable of beating it.
Yes, I agree.
And this week, and the last 2 weeks, where he has been defeated. First of all, he spotted a huge head start, but it was Collin, a 2-time major winner, and Hideki and Gotterup in a playoff. Gotterup on a heater and potential future number 1, and Decky's shown the ability to beat Scottie before. We've yet to see in a Scottie tournament this season, and a good chunk of the last year, a random golfer win a tournament that Scottie is in. Do you think, are you factoring that into your cards? And I only ask this because you see cards where it's all sorts of random golfers, which that's fine. Do you think do you think anyone in the field could actually beat Scottie, or are you trying to shrink down to people who once they're mixing, because Scottie's going to be there, they need to have the moxie to defeat Scottie?
I do think I'm thinking more okay, can this guy beat Scottie? Can this guy beat Scottie? He could beat other people. He could play well. Can this guy beat Scottie? I do think I'm factoring that in a little bit more. And this is honestly one of the first weeks maybe ever I'm considering betting Scottie single bullet, which I will factor into my future cards. I would think, and do higher RRI ones.
This may be. I think this is true. Hold on. Let me confirm where Collin is in the dog rankings. Okay. Collin had been falling in the dog rankings, but he had not left the dog rankings. So far this year, every winner has been in the dog rankings.
No surprise there.
Rose
and will be this week too.
I got to update it. We haven't where do you think Gotterup belongs? He's going into the win at Phoenix. He was 27th in the dog rankings. I haven't updated it since then. Where would you slot him in?
One sentence. He beat Rory on the links. That is big time, dog. Toe to toe, 2 straight days. Rory on the link. That's Rasmus and Gotterup territory. No one does that.
Because it leads into a guy. The LIV, we'll talk about LIV, because the LIV, we got called out by the LIV folks. We're not going to forget about LIV. We apologize for not talking about it last pod. Patrick Reed continues to be Mr. Worldwide. Patrick Reed is 12th in the dog rankings. Who has more dog, in your opinion, between Gotterup and Reed?
Reed.
I agree. But next is Hovland, and I could pit Gotterup in front of Hovland.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay,
but it's not far off. But I agree. For now, it's current dog rankings.
Yeah. So the top 10: Scottie, Brooks, Xander, Bryson, Rory, Billy, Hideki, Rose, Bob Mack, Nick Taylor, JJ Spawn, Patrick Reed, and then Gotterup.
JJ Spawn, I would lower.
Well, you think he's headed out of the top 100.
Yeah.
It's hard for me.
Yeah, you can't
to penalize the Oakmont winner because that was a generational moment that will live.
Top 40 on the front 9. Yeah.
That will live on for quite some time. It was special. But yeah, I just think I'm personally not going to do it, but I think if you're betting against Scottie or in a tournament that Scottie's playing, a vast majority of the players legitimately have no chance of beating him. There's a handful of players who can spike enough to beat him and actually show the ability under the gun to win. And like Collin had been losing his dog, but still a 2-time champion.
And he showed a ton on yesterday.
Where do you stand on Minwoo, dog? Because I'll be honest, I just never thought that Minwoo could win.
No. Watching Minwoo with an iron in his hand, I have no confidence at all. 0. And he hit them well last week. They had a good statistical iron week. But I have no confidence for Minwoo. When I see Minwoo Lee 145 in the fairway, I think it's gonna say 20 feet left rough every time. And not that he can't get up and down, but I just have no confidence in him with irons, and I don't think it's sustainable for him.
Whose win was more surprising? And I know what the odds reflect here. It's a no-brainer that it was Anthony Kim, but Anthony Kim and Collin comebacks on the same week. Who were you more surprised winning?
I mean, it has to be AK. AK up against Bryson and Rahm. Rahm might be the most unserious golfer in the world.
I was going to ask you because you didn't single bullet him.
I don't bet. I'm not betting LIV this whole season.
Okay, because I texted you earlier in the week when I was trying
after
to decide
Maridoe. We took a stand.
By the way, I forgot to tell you. Did you know this about Scottie? It has to do with Maridoe and Gotterup. I have 2 things to tell you about Maridoe because, and for people who don't know what we're talking about, Maridoe is a major championship course that LIV decided they don't want to play at anymore. Scottie in where is it? Oh, there it is. No, nope.
I mean, I'm thinking about doing one of the Texas events this year, just so I can do a Maridoe drive-by and pay it its due. Just show to about.
What do we have to do to get around at Maridoe? Because we speak highly of Maridoe. Maybe it wasn't Scottie. Maybe it was Gotterup. I think it was Gotterup that I meant to tell you. Because Gotterup.
I might send an email to the club pro.
Oh yeah, this is it. 2 years in a row, 2020 and 2021. Gotterup was T3 at the Maridoe Amateur, and the next year he was T3 at the Maridoe Collegiate Invitational.
If you want to find the future of golf, it's one of the places you go to. Maridoe leaderboards.
If anybody out there has a schedule of when events take place at Maridoe, please send them to us because we will go. We will boots. Hopefully, other news that has happened, Miles and Charlie on the same team at Florida State, following in the footsteps of Brooks and Berger.
And Tyler Weaver. Oh, that's going to be a team.
Will you go and watch an event in Florida that they're playing in once they get to college?
I have to. They're going to make college golf so popular. People are going to go. We need to go to a Walker Cup very soon.
Yeah.
Because I was talking about the Walker Cup at LACC when I was playing, and they were like, this was it was the coolest thing ever. And the team was, you listed off the team of the guys were in, and there's no ropes. You just walk with the guys, like you've said, and we definitely have to do that.
At some point. Because I texted you earlier in the week, and I was thinking about single bullet parlay of Scottie and Rahm, but Rahm is. I thought the 72 holes was going to be his thing. I will say, hand up, I didn't watch any of it. I apologize. No. I said that I would watch LIV Adelaide, and I didn't, and that's on me. I saw a lot of the tweets. I saw the highlights. And I will say I did watch the LIV Promotions event. I watched AK for the last 9 holes of the LIV Promotions event. Not aggressively, but I had it on. And then I did see some tweets of him, and his swing with his irons was looking
pure.
And that's what he did. And Adelaide's not a long enough golf course to be a serious driving test. Shout out Brendan Steele also for striping.
I was going to say, yeah, that's stripe show.
But how is Rahm I mean, great for Liv, great for Anthony Kim. This is
Maybe they
the
let him win. Maybe they let him win.
Like in TGL where they suck the ball into the hole for Billy.
Billy Horschel. Yeah. Maybe they let him win.
Did Neil Ship? What do you think about Neil Ship hitting a hole in one?
Yeah, count it. Count it.
I think they should preset the software to not be able to do a hole in one because I can't take it seriously. I'm skeptical that it's legitimate. So instead they should make it impossible to do.
Yeah, no, I agree. Tommy hole in one on the par 4. He did that.
We when I was looking at the dog rankings, I was also looking at when I was looking at who we picked in the preseason one and done. I need to update the standings. I think you're slightly ahead because you had Tommy last week and I had Lowry, who both played pretty good, but Tommy finished higher.
Yeah, Lowry finished strong. Lowry finished strong too. He kind of came out of nowhere. I think you were winning. Actually, have it right here. You are currently I'm currently up because of Tone's Farmers Insurance Week.
Yeah, I had Lud who finished last place.
And then we have Gotterup versus Scottie this week. So I think I'm slightly up on you, but it wasn't the best first picks to start the week.
No, Hari at the Sony was a good pick.
That was an incredible pick.
There wasn't many of them in the field last week because they don't have status, but you saw them at Waste. Waste was the only time we've really seen the DP players have a chance to flourish. Nothing of besides Pari's been striping. No one has really got it slotted yet. Dan Brown has become the face of the tour to some degree, though. That's been exciting.
Yeah, a man of style. I'm excited to see Dan Brown in Florida. I'm excited to see all the Euros in Florida and the rookies. The rookies are they look like deers in headlights out there. They look probably like me my first time out there.
Who's that guy from Canada?
AJ Ewart or the guy with the Indian guy. Yeah. He Selamaraju or something like that.
Yeah,
he's been putting up good results.
He was standing out to me, but none of them are in the field this week. What you're considering betting Scottie this week? Tommy played good last week. Rory had some moments of. Let me just talk through some of the guys in the dog rankings. Some of the guys who could maybe beat Scottie. Brooks is in the field. Xander, your voice of Xander. Where are we at? There was some good stuff last week.
Boot by boot.
How did his stats finish up?
I think they were fair. I think they were AGX, but not it was like mediocre off the tee, mediocre, just very mediocre putting, just very average. I think
he likes Riv.
Yeah,
I think consistent. Xander will play good this week, but he's not ready to beat Scottie. Rory. Yeah. If it's soft, what did you think of Rory? He came over. We did have this discussion, and this would actually tie into this week specifically. I texted you. I said, Rory, we're on the record. He only cares about winning at cool courses. Does it count as a cool course if he's already won there? Going into Pebble last week. Based on his performance, I don't think it does. I don't think he actually wanted to win.
I agree. I do agree. Shout out his Sunday performance, though. That was pretty cool. Also, very intriguing stat line. Him dead last off the tee and almost first in approach. Impressive stuff, but I do think a lot of that off the tee numbers was that one lost ball off of 4. Yeah, but still, good signs from Rory. Soft golf course that should set up well for him. But I don't know if I'm gonna even consider Rory.
I'm excited. I hope you get to do a reasonable amount of boots tomorrow and the weather's reasonable because I don't really like Riv that much, and I know that.
Have you been there?
Yeah, not in my boots career, but I went there in college to watch Tiger was playing. So I've been there and just watching it on TV and looking at stats over time. And I know this is blasphemous to certain golf fans. Because it's always talked about, and I think especially this week, Riv is talked about as, shot shaping, firm, ooh, so cool.
That won't be the case.
It's not. It doesn't really play like that. The guys hit it too far now. The fairways are too wide. They hit it too high. The fairways are too wide. It is a shame. I'm not saying that it's good that equipment has overpowered Riv. However, I do think there's other golf courses, and we talk about them when they come up and when we go to them, where it's better suited to truly make the top players have to do something interesting or outside the normal realm of what we see from them. In like the first hole is that par 5 where you can't even hit your driver.
That's a joke hole.
4, I just saw 4 was already one of the worst par 3s in golf.
They're not going
And
to
they
play
made
that tee box though. They're not going to
why'd
play
they
that tee
make
box.
it long? Why'd they even? Because the U.S. Open's going to Riv, which I'm genuinely
That's
upset
probably what
about.
it's for.
But
That's
I'm
probably what it's
upset.
for.
This is my bias
Or the
because
Olympics.
give Chambers Babe another chance to host the U.S. Open. And so how many times do we need to see Riv? But I need your opinion because I've been like always, I was happy to some degree that we got signature Tory last year because I like watching Tory. And I know there's a lot of people who don't like watching Tory. I just think that challenging Tory can give a harder test than what Riv can, especially now in these conditions. Like, I think all the hype about, oh, it's Riv week. Yeah, I would love to be hyped for Riv week if we got to see it probably how it played in like the 1950s. It was probably sick. All the Hollywood stars were coming down and like the vibes, the lights. Marilyn Monroe was there and like Hogan was slapping it around and it was probably dope. And it sucks that we can't have that now. But I just don't think it is. And like, yeah, it's a cool scene. And I'm sure you saw it today with the clubhouse and like the Hollywood vibe. But I'll need your opinion because maybe we'll disagree. Maybe you'll say it's a sick course and you'll give me your honest opinion. But I'm indifferent.
I think what this is about the new tee box. I think for like the Olympics and because the Olympics are going to be at Riv, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, so Olympics and the U.S. Open, that tee box they can make that a par 4 and one a par 4, so it stays at the par that they want it.
So they're going to make it a drivable par 4 instead of a par 3.
Yes, and then which I think is way more fun, and then make one a tough opening hole because everyone's going to birdie that. Because I'm on the record for saying if your guy doesn't start -1 through 1 at Riv on Star.
100%. Okay, well
100%.
that's strongly opinions loosely held. I like that. I'll admit.
Yeah, different.
That's cool. The 10th green is cool. Like I love seeing guys get ejected.
Cool.
Obviously,
yeah.
It's just a shame that there's no feasible way that it will not be soft. Like based on what you told me about how hard it's raining, it's been raining in California. There's no. It sits in a valley almost. Like it's where the water collects. I hope not. I hope it's sick, and it should be. It's still fun to watch. Like it's a good.
It's a good tournament.
Visually, it looks cool. The hillside, but I don't like get excited to watch the pros play Riv because Rory's just going to be nuking it down the middle and hit his wedges to like 8 feet. So it's unfortunate, but I think is that how you expected to play this week? Is that the type of players you're looking for?
Yeah, if you have a nice driving week and you can control your spin, like they're going to take it deeper than 20 this week.
Rory hits it far. Hideki, I don't like Hideki as much if it's not going to be firm. What did you think of Hideki? Dude, we need to lower like Hideki blowing waist I was shocked. I was legitimately shocked because he had been hitting it off the planet, but he was being Hideki, top 10 dog player.
I might think he stays there, or even like the par putts he was making, he was driving it like me. Like he was, and I don't know how he was saving par, even from some bad lies. He would have to go back and take legitimate drop and then get up and down for a par and like make like 25 footers. He was playing a handicap, like he was playing with one arm, and he also almost won a golf tournament.
It was just that he finally got to the moment where all he had to do was like
hit a fairway
and then just hit it out of a fairway bunker. Like he didn't, but that was weird. I just needed to bring that up. But I wouldn't be very high on Hideki this week to win. I think he'll play fine. Rose isn't like the Bobby Mack. Bobby Mack was playing with Scottie in the final round.
Probably mesmerized.
After Scottie made the eagle putt on 6, Bob was like laughing out loud. He was like, "This is unbelievable," and Bob was driving it off the planet. It was so offline. It was classic Bob. He was a little bit too angry. Vic, what's going on with Vic? I saw he's throwing clubs into trees. Like
I've seen Vic prepping hard. he seems to be hitting it well. The off the tee last week was a little rough, but I'm not worried about Vic. I think his game is in a much better spot this year than it was last year at this time. So I'm not worried about Vic. He's played well here before. This course should set up well for him, especially when it's soft.
Shout out Sep. Just
shout out Sep. Yeah.
Back-to-back weeks.
Back-to-back most tips.
Almost
when the last time that happened? Almost worked.
Almost worked. Who else played good? Oh, this is what I needed to mention to you. Two things. One is I think you did miss this because I texted you about it. CBS coverage comes on. Scottie's playing generationally. Collin's mixing. Burns is there. They cut to the 11th fairway. Let's cut to Nicky Nations with wedge in hand. Pelt-sized divot. Just absolute peers it. One hop, spins back maybe 5 feet back down into the hole, shoots him up to -18, instantly mixing. Nations finished T8, gained 8 on approach. The only person who gained more on approach was Collin.
Betting there's the best ever.
Nico Etch finished T8, losing strokes off the tee, barely gaining around the greens and barely greening putting, but he gained 8 on approach because if you give the man a clean look, he's going to hit it good.
You know what was the biggest lock in the history of maybe anything? Nations winning the par 3 contest at Augusta. You don't get cleaner lies than that.
We need, again, Kalshi, Polymarket, it's 2 pods in a row. We've got opportunities to work together.
Yeah.
We need the par 3 markets this year because the par 3 usually doesn't have odds, but I feel like the last 2 winners, or at least 2 of the last 3 when it was Hoagie and Nicky Nations, it's easy. Pretty clear because most of the players don't want to win. The guys who are iron play merchants are winning. So I think we need betting markets on that. Who else played good last week? Who played good this week? Oh, what was Strokes Gained Griner was mixing with Akshay, but
no beef with either of them. Akshay was never going to win in the wind. That was Akshay played fine. Akshay is striping it, and Griner is a big magnitude for that. Like Akshay, if it stayed normal on Saturday or Sunday, Akshay was winning. Well, as soon as it got windy on Saturday afternoon and Sunday day, he was cooked, which is fine. Like that's not Akshay's game.
Also, Akshay needs. I talk to you about this sometimes. You sometimes don't have the right outerwear for the conditions. You value your look a little bit more than necessarily the utility of the outfit. They mentioned Dottie mentioned it on the broadcast. She was like, "You can't be wearing a hoodie in these conditions."
Can't.
Trevor was like,
hoodie at that.
Yeah, and he looked cold, and he had the quarterback hand warmer. Like he wasn't dressed.
The thinnest guy on tour. He needs something more than that. Yeah,
he wasn't dressed properly for the conditions to hold on to a 6-shot lead over the weekend at Pebble. No. But shout out Akshay. Good that he's playing good again. It was his odds were starting to get disrespectful, and I think that's a takeaway from this week too. It's like, I mean, I would have never bet him, but Collin was like 75-1 or something, or he was in like the 7K range. At some point, the numbers are disrespectful, and it may take 5 to 10 times of betting somebody, but Akshay was getting at least into that range. Rio keeps striping. Who do you like in Kenya?
Good call. What's his name? Ewan Ferguson, if he's in the field, or the guy from the Dutch guy.
There's a world, Van
Driel.
Because I was looking at the odds for, because I'll be tempted by Scottie. We'll see, and mainly just because I know he'll be senior, or he'll be senior. He'll be featured groups. So it was fun having the Scottie just on TV.
Yeah.
While I was doing other stuff.
And you wake up Sunday morning and you got a little sweat in Kenya, parlayed with Scottie. That's not a bad go.
No, if I bet a card, it's going to be in Kenya because I've won in Kenya.
You know what the favorite in Kenya is?
It's A&L, who now has Carlos Alcaraz's old coach. Did you see this?
No.
Carlos Alcaraz's coach, who was his coach from when he was like 7 years old, to literally until December. And they were like, all of his success, it would be like Scottie and Ted Scott. It was like you thought of them as they go together for part of what's driving the success. Mm-hmm. He had won like all 7 of his majors. They just randomly were like broken up. The tweet came out. Carlos was like, yeah, it's not going to work out. Apparently there was drama just behind the scenes, like with Carlos's family. And people are like, oh, wow, this is crazy because he's a great coach. And he used to be world #1 tennis player. couple weeks ago, I'm on Twitter and I see that what he's now doing, because they were like, what is this guy going to do next? Is he going to coach a new player? Is he going to go over to Yannick Sinner and give him secret information to try to beat Carlos? Like, what's going on here? No, he's doing mental coaching for Angel Ayora.
He's going to win so soon. I think I know what the play is here in in Kenya. You parlay Scottie with Ewan Ferguson 31-1. Alex Fitz 39-1, and Jacob Scott-Olesen 45-1. Those guys can hit fairways. I think that is definitely the play. And Kimsey and Nathan Kimsey.
Yeah, I'll give you some other names that just jump out to me as potential positional merchants who will be there on the weekend. Because I think it was last year I had Pari. I had Pari against Jacques last year. And Pari that's when I first began to experience your favorite flusher's favorite flusher. But he blew it down the stretch. But if you can hit fairways and hit your irons, it's one of the easiest handicaps of any course in the world per year. That's why I think I said I'm only betting at courses where I feel like I have some edge. This would definitely be one of them. Marcel Schneider will finish top 20, but he will not win. Lagergen was mixing a couple weeks ago with P. Reed. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw. Lagergen kind of nukes.
Joel Gearbach could finish in the top 10. There's Darius at 86-1.
Oh, that's
part. Have you noticed that DraftKings is giving random numbers now?
I talked about that on my pod with Dom today. They're not doing whole numbers, square numbers anymore.
Sean North 100-1.
He'll lose it on Sunday. He's a historically low dog player, unless it's the Sunshine Tour. Then he's.
My only question to you would be: do they give out Alfred Dunhill championships, and do they give out the Stein City championship?
Maybe not. You could be right.
Okay, that's all I would say. Who else? Jason Scrivener. He's 105-1. Oh, Aaron Cockrell will finish top 20. Aaron Cockrell top 20 is maybe the greatest bet that ever existed. How's he been playing? Hold on, let me see. Two straight bets.
It's a shame that what's his name is on the DP again. Nick Norgard. I already miss him. Oh my God, Rikuya Hoshino 105-1. Talk about positional golf. Talk about top amateur.
Marcel Seam 160. It's a shame Otegi. Otegi. He's 165-1.
When Otegi was born, you know what they wrote on the birth certificate?
See you in Kenya.
Physicians.
The thing is too. So my fiance,
all these guys,
is going to a wedding in India. So and then I'm going down to see you the next week. I don't have anything else to do this weekend, but I refuse to build a card against Scottie. I fundamentally cannot do it because and it was just so fun to be betting Scottie that I think I have to go down the board in Kenya with some triple digit guys, both as an individual card and a card parlayed with Scottie.
I'm in for a Scottie parlay.
And then maybe Scottie just a little sprinkle on the side to get my money back, plus a little bit if he wins.
When he wins.
Yeah.
Because Bet365, I know you can do those parlays for sure. I'm going to dabble in those. Maybe we'll put them on the site. Maybe we'll put them on the Shipper site. We probably should, right?
Or we could just tweet them. We could just rip them on
social. On Vince. Yeah.
And anybody who wants, because there will be people who are watching the Magical Kenya Open who want to talk about it, and we'll want to,
of course,
have some action. All right.
Yeah.
Let's first of all, shout out the listeners. Shout out if you've made it this far in the pod. We have no the pod is whatever the pod is now, and we hope that these people still enjoy the pod. If you do, toss a like and subscribe. We'd appreciate it. If you're looking for the next level of content, the Boots Report, the models, the write-ups. There's so many write-ups, different people, different opinions, different ideas.
It is a great place to get information and make your own decisions from there. So many tools.
Shipitnation.com, code VinceErics. What are you hopefully the weather permits. If the weather permits, what are you most excited about tomorrow? What are you going to be when you walk to the course? And I know you'll be thinking about it on your way there. You'll have a game plan.
Yeah.
Let's assume that, it's a rainy but reasonable day of boots. What's the game plan? What's the mission?
I'm going to be pondering how far Matt Fitzpatrick's driver will roll out in the wet conditions. And then outside of that, I want to walk around 10 green and see how slopey it really is.
It's hard.
That's basically it.
It's nice that because I've only been as a fan, so I couldn't get close enough to see it, and I couldn't understand.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited to get your thoughts there.
Remember when Stu confirmed that the views at Augusta weren't that different than TV?
That boosted your ball knowledge up for sure. Where I just have a couple more guys that I just need to get your State of the Unions on quickly to finish the pod. They can be a timestamp. People can go, well, wait, the CY contents at minute or hour 39 minutes in, 100 minutes into the show. Where are we at with CY? He hasn't even, I haven't heard his name once on any broadcast yet this year.
He's still on pace for the 3.5 major line this year. I saw him looking very uncomfortable in Phoenix, and that was in the Boots report. But statistically, he's piecing things, and he has to put it together. I don't think he's far off. Got to put it all together for a week, and once he does, I mean that Waco versus CY Riv was fun. It makes sense for him.
Yeah, that's why I brought him up, just because he's ball striking at Riv all 3 years has been beyond belief. And he's a better putter now. I just needed to check in because I know you're high on him this year. A little bit of a slow start. Can't really have slow starts this year if you want to have a good season. There's just not
enough time.
Gotta start playing good. Any give me your long shot of the week. Vibes.
Long shot of the week.
Play good?
No, too much nuance. Long shot of the week, Andrew Novak. He also he'll put 61 per tournament, and then just shoot 74 after that. He's so good, and he's AJX too. He's good at everything.
Nico Edge is gonna have clean looks this week for sure. Ryan Fox is gonna have what are Fox's odds?
I bet Fox last week at 250 to 1.
Hold on a second. Fox has been all green Xander 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, Fox was 250 to 1 last week, and he just got off to a bad start.
Fox at 200 to 1. This is a course that Fox would play good at.
Yeah.
If I was gonna get tempted, it wouldn't be to beat Scottie, but maybe a
top 5, top 10.
Yeah, dual forecast, something like that. Because back-to-back all green Xanders from Ryan Fox finishing T24 in both events, coming to a course that literally when they built Kenya for Otegi, and when Ryan Fox came out of the womb, they said one day you'll be in the Hollywood Lights at Riv, and it'll be special.
I love that Rio's playing good now because they talked about his win at Le Golf, and I'm like, you got to mention that he did not win that. Ryan Fox lost that. That's what happened. But it is a course for Rio, nonetheless. But Ryan Fox did lose that event.
Shout out Ryan Fox. What a perfect way to end it. Ryan Fox, you'll be there. You'll report back. We'll see what you have to say. I'll see you next week. We'll have boots. We'll have the card. We'll be playing golf. We'll report back on the competition. 4 days probably of competition. I need to hope.
We'll wager in Tequila Waters.
Yeah, I need to hope that I can get it slotted. I need to channel Dan Brown as fast as possible. But Jers, enjoy the remainder of your trip. Get home safely, and I will see you soon.